Hare Krishna to all of you.
Hare Krishna Mataji,
Hare Krishna
Pranamalu.
Mataji,
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna
Hare
Mataji. Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna. Pranams Prabhuji. Prabhu Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji and Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Let it go live. Hare Krishna. Okay, today we'll be seeing 5.20 sloka. Tomorrow Mataji will come and continue from 21 onwards. Okay, let me share my screen. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshu Badareshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam Bhavatya Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjanaya Shalakaya Shakshurunmilitam Yena Tashmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Tata Swapadandikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanushute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpadarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Dinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavade Paschayate Deshadarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Hare Krishna to all of you. I welcome you all on behalf of NND Prabhuji for this short Bhagavadam class from ISKCON Mangaluru, Ulai. So today's sloka is 5.5.20. The sloka is, so till now we have seen the this chapter. Can anyone give the overview till now what we have seen? Someone can come forward. From the first sloka, what we read actually, that is the instructions by Rishabhadeva to his sons. Correct now? So what are the instructions basically he gives right from sloka number 1? Anyone please speak
Hare
out?
Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Can I tell Mataji?
100% you can speak, Mataji. Please.
Yeah. First, Rishabhadeva told one should do penance and austerities, and from that the heart becomes purified, and we can attain spiritual bliss. And then he told what to do and what not to do. Approach the authorities like spiritual master, and then we should not do anything which is not related to Krishna. We should not do asat sangha, and that is also non-devotees association, and one should inquire about the spiritual value of life. Atato Brahma Jignasa. Then we have to leave all the fruitive activities. Because of ignorance, the mind becomes attracted to the fruitive activities that we learned.
Yes.
Mataji, I can remember only this.
No problem. Thank you very much, Mataji, for giving this insight actually. And then the qualities of Siddhartha Muni kind of thing, that is a spiritual master. And it starts from that is basically from the family, right? Like first father and mother, and then the husband, and then devatas, and then even spiritual master. All these things it comes. And then what are the qualities the spiritual master should have? And then We have read about the sense gratification part also. One falls on that sense gratification, they'll be missing the track in the, that is in the spiritual. They can't go into the spiritual. Either one only we will be able to take it up in a proper way. So in that sense, means actually, so a person cannot be both travel in the spiritual and material in a material way in the material and spiritual in the spiritual way. That way is no way possible. So we can execute the materialistic things or materialistic activities in the spiritual. That is by surrendering everything to Krishna, and then we can perform the activities on the spirituality related, like on the day-to-day basis activities. Then that is glorifying the, that is by doing the Sankirtan, by performing Nama Smaranam, all those things we'll be able to do. And then preaching is the main activity. Correct now? In preaching also, a person who does that, Prabhupada has given, Srila Prabhupada has given this wrong comment, like a person who preaches should follow first, then only that is the devotees who are hearing that also will start following. Correct now? Our actions should be there more than the words. That is very, very important. So we have seen about that. That is a Chadur Varanyam. That is two kind of people we have seen. In that it will go. One is a speculative, and then knowledge wise they are up, and the other person is not that much elevated actually in the knowledge. So both the type of people, in that we can go. If we go and subdivide, it will go like that. But as per the Vedic Shastras, we have seen the 4 types of Varnas. Correct na? So Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra, and then each of them have their own responsibilities, and then they should take care of that. So then only the society will be in the balanced state. If Shudra is not there, then who will take care of the tasks taken care by the Shudras? So all Varnas are very, very important, and there is nothing like Brahmana is great and Shudra is lower. So it is the job activity they are performing. So this is how in the Vedic scriptures has been given. Krishna has never discriminated any society in by this Chadur, that is this Varnashrama. It is each Varna is given the equal responsibilities. There is no higher value or lower value here. Each Varna is important for the society, and they have to perform their own Swadharmas. Instead of doing the Paradharma, we have to do the, that is our own Swadharmas. So this also we spoke actually. And then if spiritual master, if parents, if devatas, if husband, and they are not performing the duties as per the expected, like not bringing up the dependents, that is the subjects, in the right path, they are not eligible to become a spiritual master or parents. They should not have the kids. If the parents are not going to bring their kids in a proper way, in a dharmic way, then obviously they are not fit to become the parents. And the husband also in the same manner. And even the devatas, when a devotee is praying to a devata, so devotee should guide the devata should guide the devotee, so they should reach the proper destination. They should guide to the destination, that is the right destination, by worshipping the Supreme Lord. So if the devata is not pointing out, and if devata itself is expecting that particular devotee has to pray only for him or her, then obviously they are not fit to become a devata also. So we know about devatas are also the higher, that is elevated, who have become this elevated. They are all in a particular position, like how we have prime minister, president, all those things. Even the devatas are having a particular role. Like Indra is a position, Brahma is a position. It is a position wherein a living entity who is eligible to become that, take up that role, certainly they have been assigned to the role by the Supreme Lord. If there is no qualified person, Swayam Bhagavan only becomes he only expands and then he becomes. That also we have read, correct now? So these are all the things we have dealt all these slokas, and now we are going to the Rishabhdeva is going to speak about, he is going to retire actually from the royal execution, whatever, in the king's position, and he is instructing his sons to follow the king Bharata, who is the exalted devotee. So now we are seeing how earlier it was, capital was the Hastinapur, now the current New Delhi, and then this entire world was ruled by only one king. Even when Yudhishthira Maharaj was there, so his own brothers were being commanders, have been the ministers, and then the qualified people as per the advice or the instructions by Bhishma Deva and by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yudhishthira ruled this world for 32 years, if I'm right, actually. So that was a golden period, actually. After that, Pradesh Maharaj also continued the same, wherein Kali Yuga also started, actually. When Pandavas departed, so as instructed by Narada Maharishi, so Pandavas left towards the north by enthroning the Parishit Maharaj. So this was the thing. So those time, there was a saintly kings ruled the country. That is, this entire, everything is called as Bharata Varsha after the king Bharata. So earlier it was called as Ila Varsha. Prior to the naming of Bharata Varsha, before it was called as Ila Varsha. So these were the instructions he is going to give in this sloka, and the totally 100 sons for Rishabhdeva, and he's going to retire, and then he is instructing his sons to follow his elder brother and support him in all the activities, so that he, being the exalted devotee of the Lord, so the country will be ruled in a peaceful manner. So that was the instruction. So the ultimate goal is what the Supreme Personality of Godhead expects is to have a peaceful life, dharmic life. It has to be established here. So such kings are in fact, not only the Brahmanas who are exalted in the devotional service, or they become guru or a spiritual master or the representative of God. Even king represents the God, actually, for the Kshatriya role, actually. So he has to rule. A saintly king will rule the country in a righteous way. So that is what the Lord always expects. So here we will be seeing about what instruction Rishabhdeva is giving to his 100 sons, and we'll conclude this sloka like that. Okay, you have raised the hands. I will call one out of one. Tasmat, you also start reciting. After my completion, I will call you all one by one. Tasmat bhavanto hridayane jatha hai sarve mahiyamsam amum sanabam aklishta means klesha. Let it klesha. Klesha means that is it is not that is not purity. Klesha, purity. So kleshta buddhaya bharatam bhajatvam shushrunam tad brahanam prajanam. Yes, Surya Prakash Rao Prabhuji, please.
Hare Krishna Mata Dhanavad Pranams.
Pranams,
Om
Prabhuji.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tasmat bhavanto hudayena jataha sarve mahiyam samamum sanabham aklista buddhya bharatam bhajadvam susrunam tadbharanam prajanam. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Madhumayi Krishna Kant Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tasmad bhavanto hrudayena jataha sarve mahiyamsam amum sanabham aklista buddhya bharatam bhajadvam shushrushanam tadbharanam prajanam. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. R. Vijay Kumari Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Dasmatpabanto Kridayena Jataha. Sarve Mahayamsam Amutsanabam. Aklishta Buddhya Paradam Bhajatvam. Shusram Tatparanam Prajanam. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Venkata Narasimha Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Tasmad bhavanto hridayena jatha sarve mahyamsam amam sanabham aklishta buddhya bharatam vajadvam sushrunam tarbharanam prajanam. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Anjali Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Tasmavanto hridayena jataha sarve mahiyam sama amum sama sanabham aklishta buddhaya bharatam bhajadvam shushrushyanam tadbharanam prajanam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Subbarao Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Namaste Prabhuji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tasmad bhavanto hrudayena jataha sarve mahiyam samamum sanabam aklishta buddhya bharatam bhajadvam shushrushyanam tadbharanam prajanam. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Srinivas Rao Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams. Om
Pranams,
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tasmad bhavanto hrudayena jataha sarve mahiyamsam amum sanabham aklishta buddhya bharatam bhajadvam sushrushanam tadbharanam prajanam. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prafulla Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tasmat Bhavanto Hrudayena Jataha Sarve Mahyam Samamum Sanabham Aklishta Buddhya Bharatam Bhajatvam Sushrushanam Tadbharanam Prajanam. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Chitra Mohini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Om
Krishna Mataji.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tasmad bhavanto hrudayena jataha sarve mahiyam sam amum sanabham aklishta buddhya bharatam bhajadvam shushrushyanam tadbharanam prajanam. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji. Vijayanti Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Om
Hare
Namo
Krishna.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam 5.5.20. Tasmad bhavantyo hrudayena jataha sarve mahiyam samamum sanabam aklishta buddhya bharatam bhajatvam sushrushanam tadbharanam prajanam. Hare Krishna. Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Madhu Soni Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tasmad bhavanto hridayena jata sarve mahiyam samam sanabham aklishta buddhaya bharatam bhajadvam sushrushanam tadbharanam prajana. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Galaxy Tab. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Tasmad bhavanto hridayena jataha sarve mahiyam sa amum sanapam aglishta buddhaya paradam bhajatvam shushushadam tatparanam brajanam. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you all for wonderful recitation. Actually, thank you, thank you. So, synonyms is the meaning. Tasma, therefore, because I am the Supreme. Here, Rishabhadeva is in that position. He is the incarnation of the Supreme Lord. So, he is telling, Bhavantaha, you, Hridayena, from my heart. So all that is, they all born from his the heart, like that he is explaining here. Jataha ban sarve all mahiyamsham, the best among that, sa nabam, brother, aklishta buddhaya, that means klishta means that is like klesha, that is contamination, the materialistic mode actually. What are the kleshas in that? Actually there are 6 things now we know: kama, krodha, lobha, moga, mada, maksharam. That in that maksharam is the it is the worst part actually, we can tell, the envious part. Other things also somewhat we can come out, we can transform ourselves, but enviousness is the worst part. That if one person has the envious, obviously he will fall down actually. So aklishta buddhaya, so he's instructing his other sons, like they have to follow the elder brother in which mode actually, without any material contamination. The intelligence should be the buddhaya, the buddhi should be in the without material contamination. Bharata, vajadvam, just try to serve. Shushunam, service. Tat, bharanam, prajanam, ruling over the citizens. So translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear boys, you are all born of my heart. Rishabhdeva is speaking here, which is the seat of all spiritual qualities. Even I think in the previous one of the sloka, I think we have read, from where the devotional service practice comes from the heart of the Supreme. So it is the seat from the Hridaya. So where in our hearts Paramatma is sitting, and this heart is the location from where the devotional service process and all, actually it is getting it is coming out. So it is the seat of all the spiritual qualities also. Correct? Now we have studied in Bhagavad Gita also the spiritual qualities in chapter 16 and in chapter 13 we studied about the knowledge part, that is the 20 points we would have studied in the chapter 13, that is 8 to 12th sloka, and wherein the Supreme Personality of Godhead declares these are all the knowledge, and anything apart from that is the ignorance, he has already declared. So in that simplicity, so tolerance, these are all the knowledge part actually he has told. And similar points also covers in the 16th chapter, first 1 to 3 sloka, where it defines the divine qualities. So divine qualities are related to the spiritual qualities. So therefore, you should not be like a materialistic or an envious man. So to the 100 sons is instructing, you should not be materialistic. So when a person dwells in the materialistic, if the intentions of a person is materialistic, obviously the outcome also will be in the material expectation, and then he will be bound. So he will never get liberated, and he will be always circulating in the birth and death cycle actually. And the worst part is enviousness. So we should not be envious of anyone. Basically, it starts from the comparison and the expectation. If one person doesn't have the expectation and the comparison like that, obviously that envious part will never come. One should be in the self-contained mode with respect to material. Anything which has been in the current situation, it's as per the will of the Lord, and as per our karmic thing, we'll all passing through that. So accepting that is the main part. So you should accept. Here Rishabhdeva is instructing his sons to follow their elder brother, that is the elder brother Bharata, who is exalted in devotional service. Even Bharata also after his role during the Vanaprastha stage, he also enthroned to his son, and then he also left to the forest. Correct? Na? So that means this practice gives a healthy way of life. That one thing we can realize. Correct? Na? In the old age, if we have too much of responsibilities on our head, it has more impact on the mental and the physical position of a living entity. So even in 60s and 70s, if still we are holding the family responsibilities and not handing over to the younger generation when they will practice. So those type of issues we are seeing recently, correct? Now we should always give the opportunity, and basically we should train them when they are in the younger age so that they can take that responsibility when we grow old. That is a thing actually in the Vedic, as per the Vedic philosophy, it is there. So, but recently we are not following anything like that. But earlier saintly kings have followed the same. So Varda also left to the forest, and he was performing the yajnas, and we know the deer story and all. While leaving, he was worried about the deer, and then he took the birth as a deer, and due to his austerities which he has performed in the as a King Bharata, so and during the Vanaprastha stage, actually again he came back in Angirasa family as Jada Bharata, and then he also attained the salvation, reaching go back to the Godhead. This is how it has happened. So from this there is one point is very, very clear, that until the Jiva reaches to that exalted position or the liberated position, will be again and again will be coming back to this world. So ultimate goal is going back to the Godhead. That is very, very important. And service to the Lord is very, very important. That is the goal of the living entity. If one engages, if you engage yourself in Bharata service, that is serving the pure devotee, it's like indirectly we are serving the Lord. So we are supporting his service actually. Your service to him will include my service. That means the Lord's Supreme Lord service. And you will rule the citizens automatically. So when we are into this one line, it gives a very much a meaningful sentence is, when we perform our spiritual activities towards the satisfaction of the Supreme or satisfaction of the Guru, automatically your materialistic things will be taken care, and then it will be, and you will be able to perform that activities in a very perfect way, in a matured way, so that you will not get born to the karmic reactions. That will be taken care. So automatically it will fall. So you no need to worry, and you can become only instrument in performing those materialistic activities also, because we cannot leave the materialistic activities also. Correct now? We are 99% we are born here with the materialistic activities. 1% is when we are more elevated to the spiritual. Otherwise 99% will be working on the materialistic activities, and it is our responsibility also to do. We cannot ignore our responsibility. Supreme Lord has never mentioned, even in Bhagavad Gita, he is always telling, Krishna is always telling Arjuna, get up and then fight. That is the conclusion you can see in most of the chapters actually. He is giving whatever the doubtful questions Arjuna is asking there. Those are the questions we in the material contamination will have. So on behalf of us, Arjuna was asking those questions. So it will help us to more, that is, stabilize, and then more balanced way of living in this world. Otherwise we'll collapse actually. Perfect. In this verse, the word Hridaya indicates the heart, which is also called as Pura, the chest. The heart is situated within the chest, and the chest is this entire part is the chest, and then in that the heart is there. Although instrumentally the son is born with the aid of the genitals, he is actually born from within the heart. So for Rishabhadeva's heart. So according to the heart situation, the semen takes the form of a body. So as per that is because entire thing, he being the incarnation of God, and then he had 100 sons, and then all of them have come from the Hridaya of the Rishabhadeva. So, but in general, it is like, it's in a materialistic thing, it is through the genitals only, whereas here, as being an incarnation, it has been, Srila Prabhupada is explaining here, and they have come from that is the heart situation. The semen takes the form of a body. According to the Vedic hymns, when one begets a child, his heart should be purified through the ritualistic ceremony known as Garbhadana. So that is, the rituals are there, and we have studied in third chapter, that is third canto, 31st chapter, how actually this jiva is from the day one till the birth, and then when there the full consciousness develops, and how actually that the jiva laments. He can, if he has done some good deeds in his 100 janmas, he will be able to recollect what are all the things he has done and mistakes, and then he will be asking forgiveness from the Supreme Lord, and he doesn't want to get into the hands of the Maya. He doesn't want to come out of the womb of the mother. So when and there is a Vedic system following when that is when a girl and boy gets married, and then the Garbhadana Samskara, that is Samskara is being performed, that some rituals will be performed. So as per our Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, 64 rounds of Mahamantra Japa has to be performed. So when after the marriage, when they want to have the child actually. So through the genitals, this. So as per this process only, earlier and all it was followed, but now I think it is nothing like that. It has been followed, and that's why we are also in the mode of fashion and ignorance, and whatever the children we are having are also in the supermost mode of fashion and ignorance. Rishabhadeva's heart was always uncontaminated and spiritual. He is totally spiritual. So consequently, all his sons born from the heart of Rishabhadeva were spiritually inclined. So this sentence gives us a one what is that insight for us, that if the parents are more inclined to the spiritual, obviously that is at the age of they are begetting that child, so obviously the children also will get it in transformed actually. So when a couple is going to have a kids, they should be little that is more inclined to the spiritual, so in order to lead a peaceful life, that too in the spiritual platform. Nonetheless, Rishabhadeva suggested that his eldest son was superior, and he advised the others to serve him, because he was also a Vaishnava. So all the brothers of Bharata Maharaja were advised by Rishabhadeva to adhere to Bharata's service as per his orders. Like how Yudhishthira, being the elder one, and then all his brothers or other Pandavas obeyed, and then they also, as per his instruction, they ruled the kingdom. Similar way, this was earlier done by Bharata Maharaja and his brothers. The question may be asked, why one should be attached to family members? Yes, obviously, na. And from in the beginning, it was advised that one should not be attached to family and home. Here, the instruction is like we are doing as our duty, swadharma here. So when a person is performing their own responsibilities in association, that is in like a God-centric way or a Krishna-centric way, obviously it is a service to the Lord. It is not their own thing. And here there is no like a bodily identification form or a attachment form, where here they are seeing that is association as a devotees actually. So when Bhishma Deva also was passing away and he has passed out, Yudhishthira was actually feeling a separation. He was having a grief, but there he was not worried about the body which has been relinquished by Bhishma Deva. He was seeing the Atma, that is that association he has made with the Bhishma Deva, in what way Bhishma Deva took care of them when Pandu left this world. So Kundi Devi being a widow and with the 5 kids, so he was sincerely sympathetic for them for all the situation when they were suffering, correct na? And then he was that is showing his affection, that parental affection to them, because Pandu was not there. So in those feelings only he was actually carrying forward what love and affection they had from they got from Bhishma Deva. So like that, here also we should not carry out in the way like the bodily association. That is not the way. Here we need to perform the duties as a devotees, and that way the association is actually carried out. So even we also should carry forward in the same way in our family. That will help us to move into the detachment mode, means not having the expectation of any of the materialistic activities. So when there is expectation, and the attachment also grows, and then that leads to the karma bandhana, and we'll always coming back here. So we have to perform our duty to satisfy the Supreme Person. So that in that way only we have to work. That is the way here it has been told. So from the beginning, it was advised that one should not be attached to home and family. Correct now? So attachment means we'll have expectations. So that should not be there. However, it is advised Mahishyam Pada Rajo Pisheka. That is, one has to serve both the Mahiyan and one who is spiritually advanced. So when you are serving a spiritually advanced, here Bharat Maharaja is a spiritually elevated person, and all his brothers are following him. They are also in spiritual platform, but he is exalted. So when you are doing this, you are serving indirectly the Lord actually. So there will not be any expectation. Wherein I think we also will be having this experience, if I am right. Correct na? When we are serving for our own senses, or when or in the materialistic point of way, we'll have more expectation, and something goes wrong, we'll lament also. But when we are performing some service to the Supreme Lord, we will not have any expectation. Correct na? And then we'll get so self-contained. We may do some mistake also, but we'll ask forgiveness from the Supreme Lord. That will not have any lamentation kind of thing, or like that ahankara, false ego, I only did this, like that and all we'll never get. See, when we perform the things in a very, very good way also, we will not have that ahankara. When we are performing for sake of Supreme Lord, or we are performing the spiritual activities on the lotus feet of the Lord, that will never come. Whereas when we are performing the materialistic things in a materialistic way, obviously we'll develop either false ego or we will lament. Either two activities will certainly enter, and then we'll make that is the original, that is constitutional position of the jiva into a condition mode. So that's what here it has been told. Mahat Sevam Dwaram Ahur. It will open the door for the liberation actually when you perform these activities without any expectation. If you are serving a spiritual master, if you are serving a pure devotee, it is obviously is the service to the Lord, and that will open the door for the liberation of the jiva, that particular jiva, the devotee. The family of Rishabdeva should not be compared to any ordinary materialistic family. Bharata Maharaja, Rishabdeva's eldest son, was specifically very exalted. For this reason, the other sons were advised to serve him for his pleasure. That was to be their duty. Just as I mentioned, it is only a duty. We don't have any expectation. The Supreme Lord was advising Bharata Maharaja to be the chief ruler of the planet, this Earth planet. This is the real plan of Supreme Lord. In the battle of Kurukshetra, we find that Lord Krishna wanted Maharaj Yudhishthira to be the supreme emperor of this. That is the plan. It's the will of the Supreme Lord, wherein Yudhishthira Maharaja has to rule this planet. He never wanted Duryodhana to take that post. As stated in the previous verse, the Lord Vishwadeva's art is Hridayam Yatra Dharma. The characteristic dharma is also explained. Dharma means what? One's own, that is, dharma means the religion. That what actually defines one's prescribed duties, it defines. Correct now? So here as a Kshatriya, they have to perform, taking care of the nation in a dharmic way. Surrender. That ruling in a dharmic way will certainly come, that saintly position will come for a king when they surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Here, everything goes on nicely for the benefit of everyone, so that the subjects also will be in a peaceful way. As soon as the demon rules earth, everything becomes chaotic. Correct na? At present moment, the world is inclined towards the democratic process, and the people in general are contaminated by the modes of fashion and ignorance. Yes, we are all dwelling in the mode of fashion and ignorance. Consequently, they cannot select the right person to head the government. So as we are all Shudras, and then that is the president elected by the votes of ignorant Sudras, and therefore another Sudra is elected, and immediately the entire government become polluted. That's how the current situation. Correct na? If people strictly follow the principles of Bhagavad Gita, they would elect a person who is a Lord's devotee. A devotee should rule the country. A pure devotee should rule the country to have the peacefulness in the life of the subjects. Then automatically there will be a good government. Rishabhadev recommended Bharata Maharaja as the emperor of this planet. Serving a devotee means serving the Supreme Lord. And for a devotee, always represents the Lord. This pure devotee always is a representative of the Lord. And then when one serves the pure devotee, obviously they are serving the Supreme Lord. When a devotee is in charge, the government is always congenial and beneficial for everyone. So ultimately, here the subject should. Why we need to have a devotee to be ruled? To have a peaceful life for everyone here. That is the motive. Correct? So with this, today's sloka comes to end. Any doubts in this or any clarification required? So your reflections, what you understood, you want to share, I request you to come forward to share. So that Panchakalpadarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhye Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhye Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Antakoti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki jai. Hare Krishna Krishna